Hi, I'm Tara Akavan. I have a PhD in computer science. I started IRIS-Tech 6 years ago as a first-time entrepreneur. The company was sold to Faurecia back in April 2020, and now I'm the general manager of Faurecia IRIS-Tech. I'm also a mom to a 2-year-old daughter. When I was 22, right after I did my bachelor's, I got my first job as a developer. But a month in, they put me in front of the customer as a system analyst. And the first question the guy asked me was, "How old are you?" I said 22. And he said, go back to your CEO and tell them to send me an adult next time. Of course, I cried my eyes out on the way back, and I went directly to the CEO and told him the story. He sent me back a month later. And when it got technical and when the questions came in, I took over and did my pitch. The guy who kicked me out of the meeting became our best friend, our champion and ally within the company. So every week he was calling me up with new requirements, with modifications needed in the product. So that, I think, taught me resiliency early on. That taught me that no wall is real. You can find a way to make things happen if you have a good product. And I really owe that to the CEO at that time. It was a game-changing experience for me. I'm definitely a risk taker. Taking calculated risk is something that I like to do. It's exciting, it's unknown, as long as I'm sure about the direction I'm taking. I did emigrate to Austria to do my PhD. I married someone who was from a different country, different language, different culture. Then we immigrated again to start IRIS-Tech from Austria to Canada. So it's multiple times of kind of reshuffling things and trying to get up to speed with the unknown. Startups are about resiliency, right? You cannot be not resilient in a startup. You need to have a good team. You need to be a bunch of people, not just the founders or the early employees, but every single person in a startup has an important role. We nearly went bankrupt a few times during the startup before we get acquired. And I'm so happy that we stuck together, right? It made us closer, and we feel proud that we went through the hard days. One of the biggest lessons learned, and something I'm still working on these days, is not to try so hard to fit in. As women in a male-dominated industry, we might think that we need to change to become like men, but that goes against the purpose of diversity. The whole point of diversity is to have different perspectives and try to bring value with each authentic point of view to the table. So I think that's hard to do, but definitely that is the point, and that's going to bring the companies more value when we let ourselves to be who we are and try to add value where we can.